right, so ready to dive in. This time we're taking a look at The Scarlet Letter.
Oh, a classic.
A true American lit classic, yeah. And you know what? It's not just some, some stuffy old book you had to read in high school.
Nope, definitely not.
The Scarlet Letter. It's got some bite to it.
I think that's what makes it so interesting even now. You know, it's like it takes this very specific time and place.
Right, 17th century.
17th century Puritan Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And it uses that setting to explore things that are just so universal.
Well, like sin, guilt.
Hypocrisy.
Like a Puritan soap opera.
Yeah, kind of, right?
Okay, so imagine you're in this community where basically if you step out of line, even a little bit, you're in big trouble.
Big trouble. And Hawthorne doesn't waste any time. Like, right from the beginning, we're thrown into this scene. Super intense scene. Public shaming.
Oh, yeah.
Esther Prynne.
This young woman.
The young woman, yeah. And she has to stand on this scaffold.
Oh, wow.
With the scarlet A pinned to her chest.
A symbol of...
branding her an adulteress.
Wow. Talk about judgment.
Right. And the thing is...
What's that?
She could make it easier on herself by naming the father of her child.
Oh, but she doesn't.
But she refuses, even though it means harsher treatment from everyone.
So she's protecting him.
Exactly. She's incredibly strong and loyal.
It really makes you think about integrity, you know?
Absolutely.
When everyone's worried about appearances, she sticks to her principles.
It's like a silent protest.
Yeah, like, I'm not playing by your rules.
Exactly. And then, as if things weren't dramatic enough,
what happened?
Roger Chillingworth shows up.
Oh, who's he?
Hester's husband. Everyone thought he was dead.
Talk about a blast from the past.
Seriously. And get this. He's disguised as a physician.
Whoa, adding a layer of, what is it?
Deception.
Deception and intrigue.
Right.
So his name is Chillingworth.
Chillingworth. That's kind of a clue, don't you think? Like, a Chillingworth, he's not who he seems.
So creepy.
And he becomes obsessed with finding the man who fathered Hester's child.
Oh, no.
And not just finding him, destroying him.
Wow. So we've got public shame, a secret lover.
And a vengeful husband lurking in the shadows.
It's like a thriller, but set back then.
Exactly. And the man Chillingworth is after the father of Hester's child is Arthur Dimmesdale.
The minister.
The town's beloved minister.
Living a double life.
Exactly. Preaching about virtue while carrying this huge secret.
So Dimmesdale is the father, right?
Yep. And his struggle with guilt is at the heart of the novel.
Right. Because he's trying to be this good person.
Yeah, this public figure.
But he's made this mistake, this...
transgression.
Right, and it's eating him up inside.
It is. You see him punishing himself.
Like...
all these different ways, almost trying to...
to make up for it.
Yeah, to make his guilt real, tangible.
I remember that scene where he goes to the scaffold at night.
Yes. That scene is powerful.
He almost confesses, but...
but he can't quite do it.
Not publicly.
Not in the daylight.
It's like he wants to be free. But
the fear.
The fear of what people would think.
That's so relevant, even now.
It is. I mean, think about...
social media.
Exactly. Everyone's trying to present this perfect image.
But what's going on inside? It could be totally different.
Exactly. Hawthorne captures that tension perfectly.
Like, are we ever really showing our true selves?
It makes you wonder.
What happens when the mask slips, you know?
It's a question we all face. It's interesting, though, right? Because it's not just Dimmesdale struggling with this...
oh, you mean like...
this inner turmoil.
Right, right. What about Hester?
Yeah, Hester, too. I mean, she's been publicly shamed. She's an outcast. She's living on the fringes of society.
Yeah, she's been pushed to the margins, literally.
Literally and figuratively. But she still finds strength.
You mean like...
she finds a way to provide for herself. For herself and Pearl, her daughter.
Right, and she starts to challenge what that Scarlet A really means.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at first it's a symbol of shame, right?
Totally. It's a mark of her sin.
But it's like it becomes something else, something more.
Right. Over time, it changes.
Almost like a badge of honor.
Yeah, a symbol of her strength. Her refusal to be defined by their judgment.
So it's like about how we interpret things, you know, versus like what society tells us.
Absolutely. It's like one person sees shame, another sees strength.
That's so cool. What about Pearl, though?
Pearl.
This little girl who grows up outside of normal society.
Right. She's almost
a living embodiment of their sin.
In a way, yeah. This wild, untamed spirit.
Always asking questions.
Exactly.
It's like she's a walking, talking reminder of their secret.
Yeah, the past can't stay hidden forever.
So as Pearl grows up...
the tension builds.
Right, and then Hester and Dimmesdale, they make this plan.
To escape, right, to Europe.
Yeah, to start a new life, to get away from all the judgment.
But can they really find freedom by running away, you know?
That's a good question. Is it that simple?
It's something to think about. And the story moves towards its climax.
Okay, the climax.
It all happens on Election Day.
Wow, of all days.
Everyone's gathered, celebrating their community.
And what happens?
Dimmesdale, he chooses that moment
to finally
confess. He reveals his sin to everyone.
So he admits it on the scaffold.
He does, and some people say they saw it, a scarlet letter.
On his chest.
On his chest, just like Hester. But it's not clear, you know?
Like if it was real or not.
Exactly. Hawthorne leaves it open to interpretation.
It's like he's making us question what is truth.
Can you ever really erase the past?
Yeah. And what about everyone else?
Chillingworth, his whole life had been about revenge.
Yeah.
And when that's gone, he kind of withers away.
And Hester, she stays in Boston.
She does. She keeps wearing the letter.
Not as a symbol of shame, but...
strength. Resilience. She even helps other women who are ostracized.
It's amazing. It's like she takes that symbol and makes it her own.
Exactly. It's about the power of choice, you know?
Finding meaning, even when things are tough.
And Pearl. Her future is uncertain.
Right, but it seems like there's hope for her.
It's like a reminder, though. Our choices, they affect others.
Yeah, it's not just about us.
The Scarlet Letter, it's about all these things, you know?
Sin, punishment, but also relationships.
Secrets, redemption.
It's about the human experience. Makes you think, about the choices we make.
And how they affect others, yeah.
Yeah, and not just like our families or friends.
Right, it's bigger than that.
It's like society as a whole, history even.
The Scarlet Letter, it really makes you grapple with some big stuff.
Morality, identity, forgiveness.
It's not just a simple good versus evil story.
There are so many layers.
It's about human nature, you know?
How we mess up.
The pressure we feel from society.
But also finding redemption, even when things are dark.
Exact.
It's like Hawthorne is showing us what's underneath, you know?
Peeling back those layers.
Yeah, like in this small town, Puritan Boston.
But it speaks to something much larger.
So, for anyone out there,
students, maybe?
Yeah. Students who might be reading this for class.
Don't just skim it.
Dive in. Really think about it.
Pay attention to the details.
Symbolism.
The characters, the language.
It's all there for a reason.
And don't be afraid to question things.
Yeah. What do you think about it?
There's no one right answer.
It's like a conversation you're having with the book itself.
Exactly. Trying to figure it out.
And that's what's cool about literature.
It's about the questions, the journey.
Not just finding the answers.
And remember, the Scarlet Letter.
It's not just a history lesson.
It's about the human condition.
It's timeless.
Love, loss, betrayal.
Guilt, redemption.
Things we still deal with today.
Exactly. So if you're up for a challenge, a real literary experience,
give it a read.
You might be surprised how much it connects with your own life.
And that's what we love about these deep dives, right?
Totally.
Finding those connections.
Taking something that seems so old, so distant.
And realizing it's still relevant, still powerful.
It's a reminder that